All right, today in segment one, we're going to be talking about Battlelords of the 23rd century. We're starting to get close to wrapping up. Although, if you're watching this a year in the future, this might already be past. But until that time, we have a 3,000 subscriber giveaway. Once we hit 3,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away 2 Rifts books, 30th anniversary books, and Worlds Without Number to some random folks. And there may be more gifts on top of that to give as well. We shall see.
It says your Twitch is having a problem.
Where do you see that?
I just came up on StreamYards.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it says we're having a trouble streaming to Twitch. This may be an issue on Twitch's end. We'll keep trying and let you know if it's resolved.
Awesome.
Please check Twitch to ensure the stream looks okay.
Anybody on? Oh, it died for a few seconds for Mar Hawkman.
Okay.
But I guess it's back though.
Yeah.
Okay. I can when I'm done with this, violence solves everything. I'm gonna touch that comment. Touch that comment. So yeah, go ahead and follow us on our website, Odysee, YouTube. By the way, if people are having problems on Twitch, you can follow us on Odysee. You can watch on Odysee right now at lbry, library without the vowels, unless you count Y as a vowel, / RPG Digest. Okay. Now, I was totally unprepared for this.
What, to bring up the PDF?
Yeah, I forgot to have the PDFs ready.
The whole point of the thing.
But hey, we're going to talk about, well, you read the tweets without giving away all the stuff in the tweets. It's not fair to somebody who sends private messages. Would you like to address what Violence Solves Everything said? Well, I get it ready and then I'll follow up.
His let's see, let's put it up here. This is what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. Massively overwritten or agonizingly lacking in detail. All right. If you're speaking of combat in general for 7th edition, in my opinion, compared to 6th edition, it is both overwritten and poorly written. Spacecraft in particular, obviously there is no comparison because this is the first time we're seeing it in any Battlelords, main book. So, we'll have to take it on its own merit. But yes, this is so far. It is my opinion that that this book is both overwritten and badly written. But I'm not going to say who it is, but someone from Battlelords did say that this book came out exactly how they wanted, which in my opinion means that they meant to do bad things. So
wow.
I'm sorry. I read the book and 6th edition was written so much better. There are lots of mistakes were made in this edition, and they could have been easily fixed in the editorial process, but that wasn't done.
So why isn't my F11 working?
I don't know.
Because I had a cable underneath it. Okay.
No. He said just spacecraft. Okay, well, we're gonna find out today. I've skimmed it. He skimmed it, and I was hoping they had boarding stuff, and they do, and I was hoping they wouldn't overcomplicate spaceship combat. I don't think they overcomplicated it. They used existing combat rules for a lot of it that they did in regular ground combat, which is good because learning a whole new system for something that they caveat, well, you'll see they caveat in the very beginning, this is not the point of the game. And they did not make a whole brand new combat system for this portion of the game, which was a good plan.
And because we're going to be reading that chapter, we'll definitely be covering that a couple of times. Yes. I did want to make my comments on that. First of all, I absolutely respect them coming out. It's kind of like when Mark McKinnon came on and tried to school Heathen Dog and I about the use of the word ability scores or whatever it was. Like we disagreed, but I appreciate that take time out of the day to send a small channel like ours, people talking about their game, that part of it I appreciate. I'm not going to go into all my thoughts about how to write a book because I did that on Friday. If you guys want to look back, just look at the Friday stream that I did. It's live. It's public for everybody. And that's the first portion of that video. We'll just say that that the writers of this book and I agree to disagree. We're going to have to. However, here's what I will say. If the book met their vision, then 2 thumbs up for them. Fine. The problem I have then is still one thing. Even if I let that all go, you put it's still inconsistent. You've got first person pronouns or the second person pronouns here, third person pronouns there. As I'm going to possibly show as we're reading this, you skip words. Like you don't finish sentences sometimes. If that happened twice in an entire 500-page book, then things happen. But this stuff is all over the book. So even if you say we want the rules written a certain way and it met our objectives, good. I'm glad it did. But it's still bad writing. Okay.
Yeah, that's your problem with it. My problem is that it's just the way I'm trying to put this in as concise a way as possible. In the explanation of the rules, they're done in either the wrong order or you're referencing terms that haven't been defined yet and sometimes are defined dozens of pages later, which makes following it and understanding it in a concise way completely impossible. And that's my problem with it. Now, what do we have for spacecraft?
Yeah, let's not mess with it anymore because we're gonna have fun. We're gonna have fun with this. One heavy
finally! Oh my God! The entire book I've been wondering about that. What the hell is a heavy point? Equals 100 points. This is MDC SDC. That's a ripoff.
Well, I don't care if they want to rip it off. I mean, it's just easy numbers. So, okay. Well, good news is, I guess where we found that. God damn. Scroll. In the errata.
Yep.
Now, but hold on, because people on our Discord, rightly, were upset, probably because I said something first, about the fact that it doesn't have an index. So first things first. Let's go to... Oh, that's the only thing. So the only thing in spacecraft that we have to know is one heavy point is 100 points of damage. Got it. Oh, hey, there is an index. It's just you have to go... You get a whole other link to go to it. He gave this to me in the Twitter stuff. Oh, by the way, somebody asked for an index. Here it is. Not in the book.
That link is free, right?
Yeah, but it's a weird link, so I don't know if it's actually like just something from him, or like if there's one on Drive-Thru RPG. I'll put it in chat. I don't care.
Okay, yeah, put it in chat for anyone who wants an actual index to help with them. As a matter of fact, is heavy damage in that index?
Well, that's what I want to do because I hadn't looked it up before now. I intentionally wanted to wait until this stream. So let's go to
because if you remember from last week or maybe even the week before, it would talk about heavy damage, but it never defined it.
And this is,
I mean, to be fair, last week we were skipping a whole lot, so maybe we missed it. That could be on us, but I never saw it.
Heavily encumbered, heavy armor table, heavy belt, heavy assault. Uh-oh. Okay, maybe it's under vehicle damage, unless I just can't read.
It's too small for me to read.
That's about as big as so I can have both sides on. Okay, let's try vehicle damage.
Oh.
Vehicle descriptions.
Descriptions. Nope.
In combat. Maybe it's in there. But hey, in case anybody cares, it is 1 point of heavy damage for 100 points of real damage.
There you go.
So we'll just remember that going forward.
Now I'd like to know, which I'm probably not going to find out, but I'd like to know if regular damage does accumulate to vehicles and spaceships, which are on the heavy damage scale. Or do you need a heavy damage weapon to affect a heavy damage structure?
See, I would look that up if there was a heavy damage entry in here.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? See, for an index, every single term in your game should have index pages.
To be fair, they're like 22,000 terms. And if that's the only one they missed, although it is an important one.
It is an important one, yeah, but okay, fine. Sure.
This is apparently why. Oh, wait, it says 554. Hold up. Hold the phone. Hold the phone here. Index. All right. What page is this? 546. God dang it. Hold on.
He's going to look at his book to see if his book has what book his page ends at.
Yeah, it's like 498 or something like that. Oh, no. Here we go. It ends outside the character sheet stuff at, oh my God, 537. And then it's probably all these character sheet things that go to 546. So this was intentionally left out of the book. I think he said that, though.
The index was intentionally left out of the book? Are you kidding me?
It's a fat book. What do you want?
Dude, it's an index. It's important.
I don't know. I just want to talk about it.
It just goes to poorly written again. There you go.
I just want to talk about it. I don't want to give them more shit or get more shit from them.
Hey, you know what? At this point, I don't care. I have my opinion that they have theirs. My opinion is that they put the book together. I don't know. They just messed up in so many ways.
I will let you talk to him on Twitter from now on. I remember I gave up Twitter for Lent. Is it Lent yet?
PDF page 343.
Oh, geez, is that far away?
Yep.
Spacecraft. There we go. All right, what are we missing, chat? Oh, sorry. That was my nose.
Yeah. Mar Ockman says annexes make a sense as a separate publication, but the index. Exactly. Come on.
Yeah, they're right next to each other. Yeah. I could not find anything in the book regarding heavy damage. The fact that it's in errata under spacecraft, not damage, does speak for the disorganization of the book.
Yes. I mean, they have heavy damage weapons. You think heavy damage would be defined in the weapons section as well, but it's not.
Hey, I a couple of things that I do want to say. This is not a defense of, but it's for understanding purposes. I don't think they've ever written a book before. Yes, they have a technical writer on the team or a scientific writer, whatever, on the team. I'm talking a book like this. This book is huge.
Yes.
They've probably never done an undertaking like this. Look, here's something I'm going to say. Again, not in defense, but for understanding of. The book that I'm writing is a pain in the ass. Okay? It's not as easy to put this together as you might think. Hopefully, I'm going to hire a very good editor and not lose a lot of money, who I'm going to argue with a lot. And apparently these guys argued with their editor too, or not the layout person? Like the layout person pretty much was like, yeah, you probably don't want to do this. Well, we're going to do it anyway. Okay. Here we go. Let's start off. Do you want to start or do you want me to?
Yeah, zoom in a little bit so everyone can see it better.
They don't need to read it. They just need to know it's there.
Okay, now here is the caveat that pretty much tells you that you can just skip this entire thing if you want.
While you're reading that, I have to step away for like 10 seconds. I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
Okay, go ahead. The spacecraft combat system included in this book is not meant to be full-fledged tabletop space combat simulator. There simply wouldn't be enough room in this book for that, especially how they write. More importantly, that's not the focus of Battlelords. The space combat rules presented here are designed to keep the emphasis on the characters, their actions, and how these actions affect the outcome of the game. The space combat system closely mimics vehicle combat, which in turn mimics armored combat. Whether you're driving a skimmer or flying an Iridani warcruiser, the focus of the game is always the characters. Don't let spaceships replace the team dynamic. And spoilers, they do this by having station system where one person is at the helm, one person's at engineering. We're going to get into that later, but it's focused on the actual person's roles, not just the guy piloting the ship does everything. No, that's not how it is.
That's based on other games.
Yeah, other games do that, but during space combat, everyone has a job.
Did you get through the first paragraph?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So this the gravitic plating, this is the catch-all to say we don't want to deal with weird gravity stuff in a game.
Exactly. We don't want to do zero-G combat. Here you go.
That's actually pretty smart. Gotta get with that.
It is. Black box that crap. You know, if you don't want it, then black box it. It's fine.
Yep. Spacecraft in combat. Just as with terrestrial combat and space combat, the opponents will start the battle a certain distance apart. Now, here's how this game works, and we'll read a little bit more of this, but it works on generic.
Right.
What's that?
Range brackets.
Yeah, well, range brackets and general speed. The ship that's the slow ship is considered basically, well, they have a term for it, but it's the center point of everything. That's all the reference points are from the slow ship, and all the faster ones move closer, further away, or whatever from there. And if you've got a faster move, well, then you move closer if you want to, or you fly around, or everything's from the reference point of the slow ship.
Okay.
And movement isn't in meters or kilometers because it doesn't matter. It's abstract. It's simply done as range categories. Which
exactly.
Honestly, I like that.
Go from range bracket 8 to range bracket 5 or range bracket 2 or whatever, because that's what really matters in space combat.
Yep.
Because that's what affects all of your rolls in combat against that ship. How far away you are, what range bracket away you are.
Yep. I think it's a very good way to abstract it, but still have reference points.
Yes, exactly right. And as I was skimming through this, a lot of this, especially as you'll see later, damage that gets through threshold on a ship can damage people and things inside the ship, very much like the Expanse, where you get shot in the Expanse and the bullet goes through. It can hit people, it can hit equipment. I really like that. I really like that part, and we will get to that mechanic in a minute. Okay. Well, not a minute, but later on.
If a ship is accelerating, braking, has its flux shield up, or is actively scanning the area, its location will be immediately apparent. If the ship is using its ECM suite, now we didn't spend a lot of time on that because there's math, and that's not something that's fun to do on a stream math. But you are aware that it's there from one of our past videos. You'll know it's in the area, but you won't necessarily know where the ship is. Again, makes sense. Ships that are stealthy may be able to get quite close before spotted. Okay, so you do all this this sensor stuff. Sensor scans will be required, and we'll talk about the ship positions, as Heathen Dog's already alluded to in a little bit. The same holds true for your ship. Sometimes going dark and shutting off your engine's flux, EWS, and active sensors is the best way to survive an encounter. Good stuff. It's not just about pew-pew. It's about using your ship's capabilities. God dang it. I got to reset this stupid cable. Let's see. If you run and the other ship is faster, it will always catch you. Now, I know that sounds like, well, it's duh when you put the language there, but I have been in sci-fi games where the faster ship, for whatever reason, is always like, just can't quite get you. What are you talking about? It's like, when you chase a 4-year-old, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. But you don't, because, you're letting it get away. All you're doing by running is buying your navigator time to get the faster and light navigation programmed in the computer. Okay, again, makes sense. It has the thrill of the chase. Can you get that crap done? It's the Millennium Falcon trying to get the hyperdrive going.
Yep. Being chased by a Star Destroyer. Can you survive long enough to make the jump to light speed? That's basically it.
Yep. All right, let's move up here. Again, we're not going to read everything here. I am a bit excited about this spaceship combat or spacecraft combat, whatever they call it. What do they call it? Oh, spacecraft chapter. So I'm probably going to read more than I want to. But GM will provide a description of the ship's class, speed, and direction. We'll also tell you if the ship is using its flux, active sensors, and or ECM. So it's basically a Star Trek thing. Captain, the shields are up. It's essentially what it is.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
So is it an open space or near a planet, starbase, or ship graveyard? Is there an asteroid field or an ion storm nearby? These are just things to get the brain juices going. Assuming the faster ships decide to close the distance and attack, the GM may allow for some role-playing before setting the ships at edge. I would love to. This is kind of like, just have your little Star Trek moment or your Battlestar Galactica moment, whatever, where you're all on the bridge, you're making some decisions, battle stations, let's go. Give a little moment for some role-playing. I like that.
Right. And it also gives you a rule right off the bat. But before setting the ships at the edge of attack range, space range bracket 8. That means that is the extreme range for spaceship combat. Range
now you
bracket.
can start further out, but that's where the actual combat.
Yeah, your sensors extend beyond that, so you can see someone coming before they're able to shoot you. And that's where you're at the oh shids moment. What do we do? Do we try and run? Okay, everyone man their stations, whatever, That's where the role-playing fun comes in before the combat.
All right, because the character, now one of the things, because Heathen Dog I think already read this, but to be fair, let's put it up again or mention again, this is about the characters, not about the ships.
Yes.
So because the characters are working cooperatively to operate a machine, the orders of their actions is much more important. You will find yourself holding your initiative far more often than in personal combat. When fighting on a battlefield, if you hit the salvo with your rifle before your teammate does, it won't matter much. However, shooting before the pilot shakes up a boarding party is vital. Just as waiting to shoot until your electronic warfare and sensors operator cuts through the enemy countermeasures. Wait for it. Wait for it. So, what are the order of events? Ship movement, fastest to slowest. I don't know if I like this, and here's why. This comes from a Battletech player. When you lose initiative in Battletech, the loser of initiative has to move first because the winner of initiative sees where that person goes and can react accordingly. Now, I know this game isn't on a field of hexes. It isn't, you don't have to worry about terrain so much. And if you do, it's going to be a big ass planet anyway. So I'm not saying it's wrong. I have to see it in action first. Does that make sense?
Well, I have to say it's wrong.
Uh-oh.
And here's my reasoning. The fastest to slowest should be reversed. The reason being is because the fastest ship, if it goes first and it can go to range bracket 1, and then the slower ship moves its 2 spaces instead of 5, and now you're at range bracket 3. You automatically put the faster ship at a disadvantage because it's used its movement to close distance, and then
overshot him.
And then part of that distance is negated just because the slower ship gets to move last.
But it does allow for a feature, say, as in, slam on the brakes. Like when Spaceball 1 went to plaid. You slammed on the brakes, Spaceball 1 kept going. So I see that allows a viable tactic for the slower ship. So that's why I'm not sold that I don't necessarily, I'd have to see it. I just have to see it because I can't say this is wrong. It's just my gut says I'm used to the Battletech methodology, but you also don't need the Battletech methodology because you're not performing maneuvers like that. So I don't know. Number 2, and we'll see what, people in chat, go ahead. We've already had a couple people post ideas. Character actions in order of initiative from lowest to highest. Again, this is something that I think was done for consistency of gameplay, because personally, I think it should have gone more in the Stars Without Number or Starfinder format, which is okay. Or Coriolis. Why? How did I forget Coriolis, right? Captain gives the orders, the sensors operator goes next, blah, blah, and the gunner goes last. Whatever it happens to be. I think it was captain, pilot, sensors, whatever, gunner. I don't remember the order, but you get what I'm saying, right? I think it should have done that instead. Then you wouldn't have had to worry about the initiative roll. However, this keeps the gameplay consistent.
Yes, that's again, I said that earlier, that they didn't change the combat as much. If you know ground combat and vehicle combat, you don't have to relearn a new form of combat. I think that's what they were going for, and I get it.
Smoke them if you got them. Missiles fired last combat round impact. Again, makes sense.
Yes, I like this. Again, this is like in The Expanse, where where missiles obviously will travel at a slower rate than a ship that is even capable of FTL at any percentage. So you fire missiles, you can see them coming. You got a minute. I get it.
They got some boom boom on them.
Yeah, but they got some boom boom on them, so you better ready yourself. But yeah, this one I completely understand physics wise. This makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm. And end of the combat round, cycle repeats. Okay. So the order of events in space combat is as follows: first, ship movement occurs, starting with the fastest ship and ending with the slowest ship. Second, the character. Okay, we just did that.
Yeah, we did.
Time to intercept. The slowest ship is the center of the action. Very core component of this game. And stop reading the stuff in the orange, because I know we've already had a couple of comments about that.
Okay.
Now everybody's reading the stuff in the orange. Good job, John. The slowest ship is the center of the action, and the other ships are attempting to close the distance to it. conceptually imagine a movie sequence where the camera is on the slowest ship and the enemy ships are swooping in. I think that's a very good analogy. The action is always relative to that slow ship. Movement is purely in terms of closing speed. Only ships faster than the slowest ship have closing. Okay. When dealing with two ships, there are two scenarios. Scenario 1 is pursuit, and scenario 2, approaching each other. So with pursuit, obviously you're trying to get away and the other one's trying to close, and approaching each other.
Everyone's going to pick a fight.
Yeah. All these rules are basically, do you add or subtract? That's really what it comes down to. So I'm going to skip all this. You can see it on the screen, but let's look at the examples. A loaded down freighter with a current space acceleration of 1 is being chased by a pirate with current space acceleration of 3. The distance between the two ships places them in space range bracket 3. All right. The closing speed is 2. Why? Because one ship is moving at 3, the other ship is moving at 1. So if you imagine it on a board, you move 1 boop, this one moves 1, 2, 3 boops. Okay? I think I did 4 there, but whatever. You get it. So ultimately, you're closing in by 2. You're two range brackets closer. So the pirate ship reduces the range bracket number by closing speed of 2. Since the ships were in range bracket 3, which is reduced to a closing speed of 2, at the end, there'd be 1 apart. Now you have the approaching each other. Instead of subtracting, you're adding. Why? Because you're both coming in. You're going down the highway at 60 miles an hour. This person's going down the highway at 55 miles an hour because he's a weirdo and actually follows the speed limit, and you're about to crash into each other. But wait, there's more. Not really. You don't crash into each other. It's really all that there is about more. So more than 2 ships. In theory, with 3 ships, 1 ship could be pursuing the other attacking from the front. You'll need to keep track of the range brackets for each ship. Look, this isn't difficult. Again, it's one of those things where I don't think they needed to say this, but fine. I mean, if one's pursuing and one's approaching, it's just a simple matter of which one are you? I mean, anybody who's played any sort of miniatures game or space, hell, even just combat game, when 2 things move closer to each other, well, somebody else is trying to get away. It's all the same concept, but it's got clarification, I guess. Closing from an angle. If a ship is approaching a fleeing vessel from an angle rather than from directly behind, it won't take as long to close the gap. So it's like a football player. Football player doesn't run to where the person is there, otherwise he'd be doing this weird thing. He runs where the person's going to be, so he closes in faster. It won't take as long. In this case, the GM can apply a +1 or +2 to the closing speed to represent the fact that coming at the running ship from the side is faster than to the stern. Yes, because I mean, obviously, if somebody's running straight away from you versus somebody, yeah, you get it.
Sorry, I had to get tissues.
Yep, no problem. That's actually what I had to do too. Using a grid. If you want a better picture, you can use a grid. There's nothing. I mean, this is one of those cases. Even for somebody like me that does theater of the mind, this is a great example of theater of the mind to me of how I do miniatures. Because it's not specifically, I need to know to the meter how far that ship is away from me. No, it's in range bracket 2, fool. That's all you need to know. Shut up. That's how I handle it. So using a grid in this case, I think is good to give everybody the kind of relation on a map. Now here comes the fun part. You want to do this or you want me to?
I got this.
Okay.
All right. To operate a ship, members of the crew must be at a crew station. Crew stations are configured to control a particular function of the ship. There's a crew station for the pilot and a crew station for the engineer and so on. If you have the proper access code, you can configure a crew station to control whatever function you'd like. This is like Star Trek TNG and on, where anyone can transfer function from a destroyed console to their console and do that thing.
How many times has a damn engineering section been taken over and the captain lost crap? That's like every other episode.
Yeah, Jordy comes to the bridge and he transfers engineering controls to the bridge all the time. So there you go. I like that. Usually the captain and the engineer have the codes to access the functions they want. Other characters, particularly in the military, only have access to the controls and functions which they are trained. Makes sense. I like it. Characters manning a station will have a specific set of actions they can perform based on how the station is configured. Players can also choose to move to a different station or use their actions to perform a task unrelated to operating their crew station, such as shooting boarders or performing first aid or whatever. Any action taken at a crew station requires all actions. This is important. You can't fire weapons and then shoot at people who are engaging you on the bridge. You can't do that.
Oh, wait, I can't go beep, 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 pew, pew, beep, beep,
No,
beep, pew.
no, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. The main crew station configurations are helm, engineering, electronic warfare and sensors, weapons, and the captain station. Players operating the helm crew station have control of the ship's direction, speed, and FTL systems. The engineering crew station manages power and the system's flux shield. The weapons crew station allows the operator to aim and fire a ship's weapon or weapons. The captain station allows the operator to perform all actions that are available to any other station. Okay, now this is kind of like a catch-all. The captain station is apparently I don't know, a lot of people have seen, you know, the movie The Avengers, where Nick Shield is standing and he's got like 18 screens all around him and he has access to all other functions on the ship. Well, this is kind of a cheat, because if you go back to the order of actions, you put the captain as the guy who has the highest initiative. And if something needs to be done, we need to fire weapons now, or we need to boost shields now, or we need to move now. He can take over that function and do it right then, rather than the helm officer or the weapons officer who has a lower initiative.
And shouldn't it be, if the captain's in charge, the captain has that access?
Well,
just by nature?
No. In naval warfare, even current day, the captain gives the order, and then the person manning that station does the action.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, like, first of all, your ship is heavily damaged. That person's killed. That person decides to mutiny. Whatever. I liked, in a futuristic scenario, I like the idea of the captain having the capability of doing that, of taking over every station.
Well,
you don't want to listen? I'm the captain.
Well, okay, yeah, but in a lot of TV and movies and stuff like that, if the captain wants to take over a station, he has to go to that station, move the dead guy over.
But see, that's all based on time frames before there is the local networks and wireless capability and so forth. Hell, even at work, the IT shop doesn't come over to fix my stuff. Like, hold on, taking over your computer. Click, 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 click. Okay, you should be good now. Download the patch. You know.
Yeah, but they actually have a mechanic in this game for moving to a different station.
Mm-hmm.
But the captain never has to do that. The captain has access to all stations all the time.
But remember, it takes a full, I mean, what stops the captain from doing everything? It takes a full action to do
something. Yeah.
All right. You're at crew stations here. Or is that an important paragraph? Should we just move on?
Crew stations, helm configuration. This is just, it tells you the actions you can take and what minuses you have for special actions. You know, if you want to do something more difficult, a bank turn, a hard turn, a max acceleration with a boost, which isn't defined yet.
All of these, oh yeah, you're right. All of these, the difficulty and so forth, this is all stuff we've talked about before, so this should make sense to everybody now. If not, well, buy the book, roll some dice, and you'll understand it. Helm action. Let's do number one. We're not going to read through them all. We'll just read the titles of them. But let's go through go to FTL, because that was already kind of given a scenario earlier. If you're being chased.
Right.
Oh, you want me to do it?
No, I got it. Okay. Sometimes your best chance of surviving a fight is to run. Since it's very difficult to track FTL flight paths, using FTL drive to vamoose, I wouldn't have used that word, but that's a choice, is your best chance of avoiding a conflict. In order to initiate the FTL drive in a ship, the helmsperson must make a navigation, specialized in space, skill check. The difficulty for this check depends on the distance you want to travel, the speed, and the complexity of the route. And it gives a chart.
I mean, it's like Asher from the old Star Wars game.
Yep. The engines must be online to make a skill check. A total of 6 successful skill checks are needed to complete the calculation. The checks don't have to be made consecutively, and only 1 successful check per combat round can be made.
Wow.
It takes a minimum of 6 combat rounds before a ship can make a jump. Wow.
That's basically a minute.
Yeah. If you are... Okay, before we did the Death Star versus Millennium Falcon, the Millennium Falcon is not going to survive 6 rounds of combat with a Death Star. All right,
well, it's the Star Destroyer, but yeah,
Star Destroyer. But yeah, you get it. Yeah,
that's why he latched underneath.
Before that happens.
Well, that's why he latched underneath and hid in the debris.
Yeah, but again, that is turning off your flux drive,
Yep.
turning off your engines, turning off all active sensors,
Mhm.
and you're invisible. Great.
While you're
Did it.
like, please, I got to figure out this route. For the love of God, I got to
And
figure
a
out this.
minimum of 6 successes. Now you don't, and now if you fail, you don't lose your previous successes. That's good.
It's just another 10 seconds you got to.
Yeah, it's just more time you're gonna have to take. Okay, that's fine.
I like that. I like that how it feels. I would have to see the roles in action with the bonuses and penalties to actually see. Well, hey, look at that. We have bonuses and penalties to determine like if that's really a problem or not. Because I would really hate it. Like I got a 10% chance to make these rolls. Just shoot me. We lose. I surrender. Whatever. But if you've got a 75% chance of success, that just adds to the stress. You're probably going to miss 2 of them. So now it's going to be a minute and a half instead of a minute,
Mm.
So here we go. If you want to do the easiest route to get somewhere, it's 0. The fastest route is -30 to the roll. The destination is too close. So this, what do we call this in BattleTech? Oh, there's a term for that. Oh, I forget what it is. Maybe somebody can remind me. Oh my God, where you jump like whoop, right next to the planet and then launch the dropships. Activating FTL too close. So there's activating too close and destination too close.
Well, yeah, this is common in Star Wars, Star Trek, a lot of movies and TV shows. Activating any kind of FTL drive too close to a strong gravity well will affect your calculations, and arriving too close to a gravity well will affect your calculations. You can end up slamming into the planet or into a moon or whatever thing. So yeah, I get that. That's fine.
Or wasn't it in Star Trek like you'd rip off an atmosphere or something?
Yeah, you would exit warp drive too close to a planet and you'd end up in the atmosphere and it'd be all types of bad.
Okay, so you can also change the speed. If you want to go from speed 3 to 2, change direction. It's all require rolls. But
evasive action. This is what you're. See,
where's it? Oh.
This is probably another reason why the captain can make an action on any of the stations, because if you are in a Millennium Falcon versus Star Destroyer situation, the pilot is busy shizzing doing evasive action. He doesn't have time to also calculate the jump to FTL, so the captain has to do that. So
I didn't even think about that. That's a good example. That's a really good example. Now here's a question, and can you have more than one pilot? Like, think of a large ship. Wouldn't you have a navigator and a steerer?
Well, I guess if we get into ship examples, the bigger the ship, I imagine you would have more gunnery stations, more engineering stations.
You definitely have that. Spoiler alert, I did see that.
Oh, you did see it? Okay.
Yeah.
Then you very well could have more navigation stations. I mean, we see in Star Trek as an example, the old series, you had Sulu and Chekhov.
Yep.
Who were in the front. Sulu was mainly navigation, Chekhov was mainly weapons, but their stations were at sometimes
intertwined. Yep.
Yeah, and then in the Next Generation, you had Wesley and Data. Both of them could do navigation, and both of them could do sensors, but usually they did one or the other, but it was possible for both of them to do that. So I imagine a ship could be built or found or modified to have two stations that were the same.
Yeah, there's always some rule as to why you can't do it near a planet. It's just another example.
Yeah,
so yes.
They just do that for, I'm not going to say for fun, just for, dramatic effect.
A lot of times those rules are put in because it's so much easier to represent Newtonian physics over actual, like when Battlestar Galactica came out and actually showed real space physics and how those fights could go. A lot of people are like, whoa, that is so different than what we're used to seeing, because most of it is based on aircraft and Newtonian physics, which doesn't make sense, but it makes for a good movie or TV show.
Right.
Okay, engineering configurations. So the skill of engineering, power is used for all checks at a station engineering configuration except for emergency damage control. All engineering checks must apply any penalty due to reactor damage. Penalty is 30% per point of damage. All right. So you can push your engines, you can push your reactor, boost sensors, overcharge weapons. Maybe we'll read that one. I don't know. We'll see. Or perform emergency damage control. Which one do you want to read? Which one do you like?
Let's go push engines, because we've been
Okay.
talking about the whole chase and stuff like that. So this is pretty important for that.
Okay.
A successful engineering power skill check allows you to increase the acceleration or brake during the combat round in which you made the skill check. If you make the check with no penalty, you get a 1 point increase to your acceleration or brake. If you make the check with a -40 penalty, you get a +2. Oh, now they are explaining that +2, +1, +2, +3 that was on the page before.
Are you sure? Is this boost? Is this boost?
Yeah. This is the boost
I don't see the word boost anywhere.
It's not, but this is what they're talking about.
Max accelerate brake +1 boost. Oh, 10, 20. Oh. Piloting difficulty -30, -60.
Yeah, but to give the pilot the ability to boost, you have to make an engineering check to actually get the engines to 110, 120, 130% or whatever. This is where it comes in. Okay, I get it now. Thanks for explaining on the next page.
I'm still confused. I'm not going to lie, but that's because I'm looking at it on a stream and not trying to sit down and write notes.
I get it. If you fail your check, you cannot excel or brake for the remainder of this combat round or the next combat round. Or the next. Okay. So you're boned for 2 rounds.
I actually like that. No, I like that. I like games where
I mean, it's not great for the guy.
No, it's not great for the guy, but I like games that put stuff in that actually put some penalties for failure other than, well, let's just try again. Like, the Year Zero engine, you get 1 chance to try. You can push your roll if you fail and I really want to try, but then bad things can happen to you. I like it when delays, or whether it's timer dice or delays or whatever, says, crap, we failed and we can't try again. Evade.
Okay. Push reactor. This is to increase your flux recharge rate during. Okay, so if you make the check with no penalty, increase the flux shield strength by the recharge rate of the ship and subtract the current. Okay, we haven't. It's talking about stuff that it hasn't defined yet again. Flux shield strength and flux recharge rate. They're talking about it, but have not defined what that is yet, which is an upsetting, just part of this book.
We understand the concepts of the flux. Which one are you reading right now? Oh, you already moved into push reactor?
Push reactor.
Oh, you're going to read that one also?
This is to give your ship more power to its shields, looks like.
Okay.
And apparently I'm inferring, because I don't know, because they haven't defined flux recharge rate yet. I'm inferring that each round your shields recharge a certain amount.
Okay.
And pushing your reactor will increase that amount.
Possibly.
I'm inferring that. I don't know. Boost sensors, overcharge weapons. Let's see what that overcharge weapon does, because that's important in combat, right? Successful engineering power skill check allows you to increase the damage done by non-missile weapons. That makes sense. During this combat round. If you make the check with no penalty, you get to add 1 additional die of damage. Use the damage die specified for the weapon. Okay, that's good. If it's a D4, X D4, you do X plus 1 D4. Okay, great. However, the weapon must make an immediate malfunction check after it fires with a malfunction number at 90. If you make the check with a -4 penalty, you add 2 dice, but the malfunction number drops to 80. And so on and so forth.
So basically, you have a 1 in 10 chance of it malfunctioning here, a 2 in 10 chance of it malfunctioning there.
Which, yeah, that makes sense. I can get with that. Okay. And then emergency damage control. Make an EDC check. If successful, immediately reduce the damage level of any ship's component by 1 level, or place a damaged weapon or compartment back into service. Weapons that are destroyed cannot be repaired in this way during combat, as the repairs take too long, must be done outside of combat. And it does talk about destroyed weapons and destroyed engines and destroyed compartments later on. There is a certain amount of damage a weapon system or sensor system or compartment or engine can take before it's considered inoperable or destroyed. If it's inoperable or offline, emergency damage control can bring it back online. If it's destroyed, basically you need a dry dock. Yeah,
bye-bye.
It's gone. Yeah.
All right, let's move to the next section here. Electronic warfare and sensors configurations. I don't think we need to read. I mean, we can jam sensors, defeat countermeasures, gather information. Actually, this one might be an interesting one. Map the target ship. Okay. And
That's important for boarding.
Yes. Well,
Yes.
Did you see the way you can board?
Yes, I did. All the ways you can board. And
that one
is weird and
yes.
dumb.
Do you think it's dumb?
I think it's dumb.
Okay.
Because it's like I can just teleport onto your ship.
Okay, well, we'll read closer because when I skimmed through it, I was like, that's kind of neat. But if you say it's dumb, well, we'll figure that out when we get there. Let's do the gather information though. Okay. Do you want to do it or you want me to?
We'll do gather information and then map the target ship.
Oh, you want to do that? Okay.
Once a ship or object has been located with the electronic warfare and sensor operator can scan it to learn additional information. This obviously makes sense. A successful sensor system check allows character to do one of the following. Just one. Pick one every time you make a roll. You can learn one of these things. Learn one value from the ship's stat table, name, class, acceleration, brake, etc. You're scanning the engines for their capability. You're scanning the hull for its structural integrity, threshold, whatever, hull design is in your database. Identify one weapon on the target. You're scanning for weapon systems, and then blah, 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 shield strength, whatever. But the most important thing for boarding is this one: map the target ship. By making an opposed sensor system skill check against the sensor operator on the other ship, you can create a map of the other ship, complete with the current location of everyone on board. This is handy, you think, for boarding actions and picking your boarding location. That's important.
I think that's overpowered. I think that's overpowered.
But you cannot map the ship if their flux shield is up. That's important.
Oh, okay.
You have to burn their flux shield down.
Never mind then.
Or you can scan the internals of the ship. That is really the only saving grace for the first boarding action.
Yeah. This is why I thought it was overpowered. But okay, if the flux shield has to be down, you can't scan through shields, then I don't have a problem with it. Because
great. This right here, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Nothing wrong with this so far.
Agreed.
Yeah, but the gather information, I think you should probably be able to choose more than one at a time, especially weapons. If they have more than one weapon, you should be able to scan weapon systems, scan engine, scan flux shield, and get all that information. But they say one at a time. Okay, that's fine. That's a judgment call on you. I wouldn't have done it that way, but I'm not saying it's wrong.
Here's how
target chip, you're absolutely right. If the shields are up, you're not going to be able to do that. Perfect.
The way I see this potentially differently, you're talking core rules as written, makes perfect sense. I agree with you on that. Most people, if they have the book, they're going to know what the ships are. So they're just going to rattle off, oh, it's got a Gauss rifle. It's got a flux shield. Okay, it's got 40 points in the flux shield. It's kind of like people do with the monster manual, right? Where I see this really coming in handy is for things like the Millennium Falcon. What do you mean it's putting out enough energy to go 0.5 past light speed? Stop, time out. That's not how the ship is supposed to be. Now we have to, change how our tactics on fighting it.
Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now, if you
that's metagaming though.
No, hang on. No, that's actually okay. Metagaming in this instance, I understand, and here's why. Your ship would have a database of common ship configurations, and all you have to do is scan the ship for its hull design. And then you will pull up a basic list of all of its weapons, its flux shield, its engine capacity. But if the ship displays actions that are contrary to that, like, wait a minute. And then you're going to have to scan each of those things down individually.
When you...
Okay, now I like this better.
You won't get the Death Star's operational.
Yeah. But I like this better because if there is a starship system for specializing or augmenting or changing your ship, putting in different engines, putting in more weapons, adding hard points, taking away, increasing flux shield, stuff like that. If there's a system for that, then that makes gather information much more important.
All right, let's quickly whip through gunner configuration. Note that each weapon on a ship may only be fired once per combat round. Fair enough, they're big guns. Normal bumping rules apply if using a weapon. Now we did, I'm guessing it's the same as the vehicle bumping. It says normal bumping rules, so I'm guessing it's the vehicle version.
Yeah.
A weapon can be controlled directly from inside its turret or bay. Characters inside a turret or bay, when it is hit, have a chance of being killed. Again, that makes sense. We've all seen Clone Wars. The appropriate weapon gunnery skill. Okay. So independent volley. So firing a weapon on a spacecraft is treated identically to firing any other weapon in Battlelords. Determine the range bracket. The range bracket to your target. We already passed the couple of sentences that they forgot the word with a couple of times. I'm like, really? And add the accuracy of your weapon to the percentage chance to succeed with the appropriate skill. You have to roll equal to or under its value. All right. You can add modifiers.
That's fine. Yeah.
When I
Making
see
a called shot gives you a penalty. Anti-missile system, very important. They made anti-missile systems very important in this game because they made missiles not hit right away. At the end of the next round is when missiles hit. So anti-missile systems are great. You're going to want some of these. And you're going to need them because missiles are no joke.
But you're going to either need can't talk. You're either going to need somebody to sit in the chair to fire them, or you're going to be using up one of your actions instead of shooting yourself.
Right.
But chances are you're going to have people to act as gunner. Everybody wants to play the gunner, right?
Sure.
All right, and you can fix stuff. All right, captain configuration. The crew station configured for use by the captain of the ship can use any of the above crew station configurations. Switching between configurations requires half of all actions.
Wait a minute. Got a problem.
Okay.
Didn't it say earlier that performing any crew station activity requires all actions?
Well, so this round you can shoot, take console control over, and next round you can do what you need to do.
Yeah, but if there's no one on your ship,
well, then I guess it takes a second for all that stuff to transfer to your console.
All right, there you go. Okay. All right.
Attacking from your ship, we don't need to read all this. It's the same basic, hey, if you've got ECM, ECM makes missiles miss more, it makes lasers miss more, and so forth, because it's hard to get an accurate target. So attacking smaller ships, kind of the same thing.
Well, attacking smaller targets. Also talk about attacking missiles.
It's got range brackets, attacking summary. I don't see it, but I think that it is part of. I mean, missiles are small, right? Yeah. When attacking personal vehicles with weapons measured in space range, -40. So, Shares, thank you very much for the bits. By the way, I want to thank Baron G-Rock for the subscription. I want to thank, where'd that name go? I actually put it up on the screen. Somebody gave us a follow, and I'm sorry, I don't see your name now. And of course, thank Shares for the bits. Really appreciate that. That puts us $3 closer. All right, more Crunchyroll.
Wait, hang on. I'm reading the activate anti-missile system. It says you need this to attack one incoming missile. Typically, these are laser anti-missile systems, also called LATs. The accuracy of the anti-missile system is added to your percentage chance to succeed. Note that if an anti-missile system has an ROF above 1, then the system may be used to more than once per combat round. Okay, all right. So if someone fires multiple missiles at you, you can only use this to destroy one missile unless it has a rate of fire above 1. Then you can hit more than one. And
you know what? I like that for simplicity's sake. You just look
at simplicity's sake. Yep. Yes,
you just look at the ROF. Yep.
Yes, and they didn't go the Robotech route, where if someone fires a volley of missiles and you shoot down one of them, there's a chance that explosion will blow up the entire volley, because this is space. You can, everything is far apart. One missile exploding is not going to explode the others. I get that. I like it. It's good.
I just want to say that the best combat simulator for Starship combat was the Star Trek 3 combat simulator. Prove me wrong. All right, moving on. So, and then now you can have the more Crunchyroll with your size modifiers and so forth. That's something that I would use this, but not first starting out. Okay, you got hit location, you got stealth and cloaking system, hit location. Now we're starting to talk about where the ships take damage. Okay, let's look at a little bit of the damage. I really don't want to spend a lot of time on the damage rules. For one section, this is going to be forever long but damage is probably important.
Yeah.
all ships have a flux shield. If the flux is up, then damage is applied to the flux shield. Pretty simple, right? Unless the weapon specifically states it ignores flux.
Stop. Full stop. Now I understand what they meant by ignoring flux earlier in damage, in the vehicle damage and in combat damage, where it says this weapon ignores flux shields, or flux shields ignores this. I was on the fence whether does that mean it takes no damage or the damage passes right through. Now we know the damage passes right through.
Okay.
So anything that ignores flux shield or flux shield ignores it means it passes right through.
And if you like flux shields, or even if you don't, like, subscribe, and share. All right. Any damage that gets to the flux shield may be reduced by the ship's threshold rating, so that we talked about that when it came to armor.
Yep, that's it, like in normal combat.
Yep. Or affected may be reduced by the ship's threshold rating or affected by the ship's absorption, depending on the damage type of the weapon. Okay.
Just like regular armor.
Yep. Unlike personal flux shields, flux shield on spacecraft regenerates some of its field strength every combat round.
Now they're explaining it. That's great.
Each ship will have a recharge rate, which is added to the flux. Okay. We're not going to go into all of that. Again, look, if you really want to know, get the book.
Critical hit table. That's important. That this is really what's going to be your drama in space combat, where consoles are exploding. Oh, the captain, the warp core is going to breach or whatever. This is that. If you get a critical hit on your reactor, your flux recharge is going to take a hit. If you get a critical hit on your engines, you're not going to go as fast. Sensors, oh crap, weapon offline destroyed, compartment destroyed. And this is like I said earlier, you know, if you want to take an action to do have the engineering station perform emergency repairs, well, you can bring an offline weapon back, but not a destroyed one. This is the chart that'll tell you if you can bring it back at all.
Yes. And flux shields are a very important thing to have, and weapons that bypass flux shields, well, they're very expensive.
Yes, very expensive, but very, very damaging.
As the Battlelords like to say, go flux yourself. Critical hits. Critical hits on spacecraft are triggered in the same way as armor loss is triggered for armor. All right, that's good to know. Critical hit descriptions. The reactor supplies power to the ship. For every 10 hit points of damage the reactor suffers, reduce the flux recharge rate by 5.
Yeah, we saw that on the chart.
Yeah, and we don't have any ship examples yet, but when we start looking at ship examples, we'll have to look at their recharge rates.
Yep.
When the reactor suffers 60 or more, it is destroyed. The ship's movement score becomes 0, and the flux shield ceases to function. You are derelict. Well, almost derelict. Engines, for every 10 hit points round down, engine suffers, reduce the move by 1. When engines take 60 or more points of damage, it is destroyed. Bridge, for every 10 hit points.
I think 60 is the cutoff. If you look at the chart, it's the worst is 50 to 59.
Right.
Yeah, and so anything above 59, there is no minus. It's just dead.
And you can destroy the bridge, weapons, sensors, and so forth. Now, I thought this paragraph, I actually read this one through. I'm going to have you read it because I don't think you've read it.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay. What did you, before you read it, what did you think of it? I liked it.
I liked it I liked it for simplicity's sake. I didn't like it for
story's sake.
Tactics sake.
Oh, I got it. Okay.
Yeah. Basically a lot of space combat, you can jam someone's communications so they can't tell anyone that you're there, or they can't signal your position, they can't call for help. That's not true in this game. You cannot jam another ship's communications because there's so much power behind it that you can't stop it. When they're doing communications, they're pumping so much energy on their broadcast that you can't garble it. It's done. If they want to talk to someone, they can talk to someone. Basically, this makes your ship's stealth super important if you don't want to be found. Because if someone finds you, everyone finds you.
Yep. Right. So I liked it. I guess I'm with you on this one. I think I'm just more in the like column because I don't like dealing with it. When I run certain games, I don't like because it's always the first go-to everybody goes to. Can we jam the sensors or the transmissions or the communication? Like, oh, yes. All right, roll. Okay, everything's jammed. Whatever. It gets rid of a trope. Now, the bad side of it is the fact that you are right. It does lower tactics. But I think, you know what? The game very expressly states it's about
Yes,
the
that's
players.
true.
It's about the characters. It's not about space combat.
It's not about space combat. This is not a space combat book, but I'm going to wait till the end to give my opinion on that. But yes, they did say in the beginning that this is not supposed to be a space combat thing. So having this just this way is for simplicity's sake, and it's good for what they did.
All right. I'm going to make Heathen Dog read this because he already told me he loved the phase gate.
Oh, God. All right. How to board another vessel. There's several ways to board a vessel. The very first one is the dumbest I've ever seen in any game that involved ship-to-ship combat ever.
I don't know. Unless he reads it differently. I read it. I liked it.
The easiest way to board an enemy ship is to use a G81C special boarding unit, also known as a phase gate. Phase gates are shaped like a door frame large enough for a ram python to pass through without having to duck, basically a Stargate. Phase gates are heavy and semi-portable, just like a Stargate. A phase gate creates a trans-dimensional conduit between the ship it's on and another nearby ship when activated. Anyone passing through a phase gate while it's active emerges on the other vessel. You can't use a phase gate device on a ship that's traveling faster than light. Your best bet to avoid a phase gate is to get distance away from the ship. The other thing to keep in mind is that a phase gate works in both directions. It's a two-directional doorway. So
not like a Stargate.
Yeah, unlike a Stargate, it could go both ways. So if you board a ship and someone throws a grenade from the other ship back to your ship ship is boned. That's what happens. That's great. The ships must be in space bracket range 1 to use phase gates. Basically, you got to be almost right next to each other. If you don't have a sensor map of the enemy ship, the translocation device skill check is at -40. But here's the thing. It requires successful translocation device check to accurately pick your destination. And if you remember correctly, if the flux shield is down, that's the only way you're going to get an internal map of the ship. But once you get an internal map of the ship, you know not only the entire layout, you got a friggin' blueprint of the ship, you also know where everyone is. You can open up a phase gate where no one is and just throw a bomb and close your phase gate. And guess what? The other ship is dead.
We're about to get sidetracked.
Stargates do not work both ways.
Oh, yeah, for matter, it only worked one way.
Yes,
energy.
Matter, it works. The opening gate is the only gate you can pass through.
Yep.
The receiving gate can only pass energy through both ways. Can only pass energy.
Which I thought was a dumb trope, but that's how you could see on the other side.
Yeah, they had to be able to communicate through an open gate, but that's how it works. Anyway, so the reason I hate phase gates is because number one, to use it, the opponent's flux shield has to be down because you cannot make a translocation device check with the phase gate up. I mean, phase shield up, flux shield up, excuse me, because you can't see inside. So you can't open a phase gate. But once the flux shield is down, you have a blueprint of the entire ship inside. You know where everyone is. You open up a phase gate to where no one is, throw a giant bomb through your phase gate, close the phase gate, boom, you win. That seems lame to me. I can teleport onto your ship. No, man, F you. No. No. And it's like, oh no, it's so you can have actual combat on the ship and have the danger of decompression and all the drama. It's like, it's not going to be drama. If you teleport to a place inside the opponent's ship where there are no guards and there's no crew, you can set up a fortified beachhead before anyone gets there. Basically, whoever takes down the flux shield first wins. That's it. What the hell? Stupid. Absolutely stupid. I hate this mechanic. I would never, ever use it in my game. Phase gates don't exist in Heathen Dog's game. That's stupid. Now the other ones,
Well,
the other
hold
ones I like.
on. So here's my counter to that, and it's something I think we talk about next week. I think it's next week. Because of all the space magic in the game, it doesn't bother me. Because if you have a matrix controller on your ship, you have enough potential capability to thwart the phase gate. Not stop people from coming through, but let them all gather in one spot. You got a Mutsukin on there, or you've got an empath that can just read that they're all there. Hey, they're there. like you have a lot of capability to maybe not stop the transport, but resist it. And maybe there are even matrix powers that can stop it. Like, hey, there's a phase gate open. Hurry up and shut that down before they come through. Maybe one or two of you get through, but then all of a sudden the thing goes, and you're like, uh-oh, we only got two in.
That's what I'm talking about. You know, if you don't want to capture the ship, phase gate open, throw giant bomb, close phase gate. Bye.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean...
And since the flux shield has to be down, and you have to, you know, get the layout of the ship, you know exactly where to put that bomb. Guess what? In the reactor. Boom! You win. You win space combat.
No,
all you gotta do is take the flux shield down. You win space combat.
You won that one.
Yeah. I hate it. Here's the ones I like. Use the door. This one's great.
Yeah,
this one's awesome.
And it's just about let them on, shoot them up.
Well, yeah, this is normal stuff. This is breaching pod, breaching party.
Yeah. Cut through the hull, same thing.
Yeah, you disable the engines on the ship. You pull up alongside. You throw out a docking collar, and you blow the door, or you open the door on the opponent's ship, and you start, you know, traveling through. Just like episode 4 in the beginning, where stormtroopers started boarding the Corvette that Leia was on. You know, yeah, a lot of them are going to die, but you know, if you got enough people, you can do it.
It's time to pause for a second. It's time to pause. Chat. Hey, so here's the Stargate thing. Marhawkman may be right, but I don't care because that gets way into too much nuance. I really hate it when you dig into the in the third anecdote of the nobody cares. In generic Stargate, matter can only transfer one way. The gate would stay open for 38 minutes. Now, could you dial from the other side to this way? Yes, but you had to redial. Matter went one way. It could be held open for a maximum of 38 minutes. And then it would close, and then you could establish it from the other side. There are a whole ton of episodes about them trying to redial, and unfortunately, the human dialing computer was too slow compared to people who have been doing this for centuries, millennia. Now, Marhawkman may be right. I'm not a big Atlantis fan, and I don't know what Stargate Universe said, even though I did like it. But as far as just traditional Stargate, normal Stargate SG-1 goes.
Yeah, this is how phase gates work in this game.
I just don't want an argument.
The phase gates in this game are a two-way street. You know, you can go in, you can go out. As long as it's open, you can go in and out to where it begins and where it transports to. That's
so Baron G-Rock, which game are you talking? Are you talking about Battlelords? So this is the first edition of Battlelords to actually have. Oh, Stargate.
Stargate. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, and then besides a hard dock on an access port in the ship, you can actually dock to any portion of the hull and cut through it. Now the problem is it's going to take a long time. You're cutting through the hull of a ship, which is purposefully very thick and hard. This
is like if you saw the beginning of Aliens.
Yeah.
When Ripley's still asleep. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This is purposefully thick and hard, and you're giving the enemy ample opportunity to set up defensive positions. But hey, you know what? If this is the only option you got, this is the only option you got. That's fine.
100% agree, Charlotte Williams, and that Stargate Universe was good and everybody else is wrong. All right. So let's go on here. Again, don't need to read everything, but you can make your EDC checks. So that's emergency damage control. That's for fixing stuff.
Yeah, as long as it's not considered destroyed, you have a chance to fix it.
Depending, and these are if you're at damage level 3, it's going to take you 84 hours, and you have to make the repair difficulty. It's a -75. So good luck.
Yeah.
More crunch rule. No. not right now. The guy maintenance basically says you have to bring your crap in. Was it once a month? Was that what it was? Once a month? Otherwise, here you go.
Yeah.
Malfunction starts at 100. Each additional missed month drops the MN by 1. I don't think that's enough. I think it should have dropped by like 5.
Well, you know what? I don't. This is why.
Okay.
Space is absolutely deadly to every race.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's going to be redundancy upon redundancy upon redundancy for every system that is critical. So after 1 month of maintenance, you could have a malfunction in life support, but you have triple redundancy in life support. You still got life support. You still got it. Next month goes by, you make the roll. Everything's fine. Third month goes by, you lost your second redundancy.
You don't have to make a roll. Remember, it's malfunction by 1, so that means you have a 1% chance of anything actually breaking.
Right.
And then it's only if the game master wants it. Like, I wouldn't have you make a roll unless you actually tried to use something that was meaningful. Remember, dice rolls in games, and this is me speaking to Heathen Dog, this is me speaking to everybody. Dice rolls in games are for things that are meaningful with actual potential
benefits and or drawbacks.
Yeah, right. So I'm not just going to have the ship break down unless the party was being a bunch of douches. Like, man, we're good until we're at 50%. Nothing's going to happen. Okay, well, maybe now I'm going to have you make some rolls. But in the heat of combat, all of a sudden you're like, hey, we're getting into a fight. Get to that gunner chair. All right, make your malfunction roll. Oh, crap, we haven't been to space dock for 3 months. It's only a 3% chance. He's going to make it.
Most likely, yes. Most likely. But again, I think that is simulating triple redundancies on all critical systems. I think that's simulating that, and having only 1% is that. Like your primary went down, but you have a secondary and a tertiary, so it's not you're still going to make the roll. It's only 1% chance all 3 are going to fail.
Right.
I get it. I'm not mad at it.
And now, no, neither am I. I'm the one that's saying that I think it should be 5. But then again, a lot of this stuff is just off the cuff based on experience of playing games and not with actually putting crap on the, actually running it.
Right.
All right. Now we're looking at weapons and all types of arachnid. It's funny. You want them called arachnid or whatever they're called, but you put arachnid here. That's just a quibble. Like, why did we have to have real race names for them? They're spider people. Oh wait, no, they're not anymore. Oh, that'll be 2 weeks from today. Sensor packages, and it starts talking about the weapons and equipment and so on and so forth. And we spent the entire last episode talking about equipment. Not going to go through it again. Other than
actually, there is one important thing. There is a damage type dash.
Where did you
go up to the weapon chart? There, weapon type dash. See it?
Where is no?
You'll see it.
Oh, right here.
Damage type dash.
Okay.
This one, I don't know. I was skimming through it and I think I found it. It doesn't tell you right away. But
can I guess?
Type dash, I believe, passes through flux shields.
Oh, I was going to say damage type dash. Damage type dash is just basic damage. It doesn't pass through anything.
No, I believe it does pass through flux shields, but
this is a lot of stuff that goes through flux shields. Dude, all of these go through flux shields? I can't believe that.
Hang on. But I'd like here we go. Hang on. No, that's not it.
Yeah, Charlotte, that's fallen through a few times. And I don't know if it's ever going to be done now. But the guy who did the original Stargate hated the series.
Oh, the guy who did the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To be fair, yeah. See, Indigo Dragon says it's normal damage. That's what I believe it would be too.
Is it?
Because all of the modifiers, like when you see up here damage site SP, all of these are things that it ignores. This tells me it ignores nothing.
But do you see anything that would ignore flux shields? Because it already alluded to that. There are weapons that ignore flux shields.
Sure. Ship flux interference generators. Like standard flux interference used for dropping. Okay, used for dropping flux shields. So pacifier and Ritz. That would be this one up here. So you cheese crackers. And they are expensive.
Damage type SP.
Yeah, that would structural integrity and what is P? I forget what P is. We explained that like a couple episodes ago. I forgot what it was though. Starship size figs are quite large. Their power requirements can't be met by a power system of vehicles. Standard equipment on most civilian spacecraft. Non-lethal weapons can leave a pirate vessel vulnerable even if... Okay, so it looks like these are the two that would do that. I'm not going to directly say you're wrong because, you know what, I might be wrong in that one, but I'm saying I go with Indigo Dragon on that one because it just seems like if it's got a dash, those the damage types are always what it ignores.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. Like I said, I'm not sure. I skimmed it. I saw that dash. I hadn't seen that before, so I tried to find it, and I thought I did.
I think it was consistency because everything said damage type, ROF, as you know. So it's just keeping that. I think it's just keeping that format.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Spacecrafts, ship pulse light cannons. Again, not going to go through all the equipment. You can see there's a lot of equipment for the ships. Ship description key. Now this is only, we're not going to read this, but just so you can say, in case you're like, oh my God, what does that mean on the ship? You can come right back to the spaceship description key on page 356 and we can look it up. But now is when we start talking about some spaceships with some pretty decent art. You got some trans cruisers. I'm only going to look at pictures. Oh, arachnid transport. There you go. So now you can start shooting up your enemies. Threshold of 16 heavy points, which would be how many real points? 160.
Nuh-uh. 1600.
Why 1600?
Because
it's times 100. It's time 100. You're right. You're right. Yep. Not 10. 100. You're right.
Stream math strikes again.
Always will. Well, apparently stream speaking strikes me half the time too. So who knows?
Actually, Indigo Dragon, if you know, because you've probably read this book more than we have, which is kind of sad for what we're doing, but we're gonna gloss over that.
Okay, wait. Before you say that, I do want to clarify. This probably should be called a let's read and not an overview, because let's reads are we don't know anything about it. Overviews are like we generally know about it, and fundamentals means we really know about it.
Right. So if you know that a regular damage weapon cannot damage a vehicle or ship that is considered a heavy damage armor, can you tell us? Like if I have my little pew pew laser gun, can I shoot a ship enough times to break through the hull, or will it just bounce off all the time? Does it require heavy damage to do damage, or just more regular damage to do damage? I would love to know that. I haven't seen that yet in the book.
Just wanted to slowly go through that, the ship plans. One of the things I loved about Traveler were the deck plans, even though I didn't get to play it. I like deck. I don't know what it is. I like deck plans. I'm going to steal the crap out of these if I run a Coriolis game.
Well, the thing is, you need deck plans. The only reason you really need these deck plans is for boarding, and of course for your OP teleportation.
Well, also for changing positions.
Yeah, how long will it take you? How many movement will it take to get to where you need to go? Stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, boarding action. So the way the game is kind of developed here is it centers around the characters, not around space combat. But you could make an entire adventure just out of boarding operation. So.
Yeah. Of course, in my game, you wouldn't be able to teleport, but other than that, it's fine.
Well, I don't think anybody low level. Okay, there are no levels. I don't think that any new Battlelords or new characters that haven't made Battlelord status should be able to do it either. But, you know, once you get the money to buy it and actually utilize it, there are also ways of shutting it off. You know, flux shields back up, or, you know, I bet you there's a matrix power.
I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, fair. This is stupid looking, but not like as in I hate it. It's just, if you actually look at what real vehicles in the real world look like, they all look dumb. When people try to sci-fi things up, they always look cooler than what you could ever have in real life.
Oh, here we go. And we get with the ship lowdown, you get to see the flux shield total. Usually it's 200, but the regeneration is what changes. The regeneration per round changes quite a bit. 25, 15.
Well, look at this ship right here. So I'm on the Turtle Freighter, right? It only has 5 per round. If it takes damage and loses that 5 heavy points per round, it's not recharging anything.
It's not regenerating at all. Yeah.
Oh, spoiler for next week. Spoiler for next week.
I am a mental god.
You have the Emperor Mutsukan. Die. Shut up. You're 3 feet tall. Like,
yeah, but 3 feet tall, but I can fire plasma from my eyes. Like, all right, well, all right.
All right. So I'm saying this on stream right now to make it so. This is Heathen Dog section.
Yep.
I'm out. I'm gonna skim it, but Heathen Dog's gonna come with all the knowledge.
Yeah.
And you have to translate this gobbledygook.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds like fun. Oh, wait, no, the other thing.
So that's spaceships. Okay. Do you want to give an opinion of spaceship combat, or should I go first?
Okay. My opinion, spaceship combat. What I like and don't like. Number one, I don't think it needs to exist, and neither does the creators. They don't think it needs to exist either. They could have bowed to some pressure to put it in there, but it is completely unnecessary for the game. That's why they didn't have it up until now. If you have to start off by saying, this is not necessary, but if you want to do this, or this seems kind of hard, but it's really not, then just don't put it in your game. Just don't. That aside, I like the crew stations. I like that idea. I like the idea of damage destroyed. I like the idea of the whole chase and pursuit and you know, the whole automatic dogfighting thing. I like that a lot. Phase gates can suck my butt. The idea is ridiculous. The implementation is stupid. And it should not exist in any game whatsoever. It's dumb. Super, super dumb.
How do you really feel?
How do I really feel? Hella dumb. There you go.
All right. Anything else here?
No, that's it.
I'm much more positive about this than Heathen Dog, I guess. I like it. I like the way it's done. I like the simplicity of it. I like the generally the way, because think about ground.
Indigo answered my question. Normal weapons that are not heavy damage do no damage to.
So it's mega damage.
Structure.
So it's mega damage. But let's be honest. There's mega damage, but also the old Star Trek West End games did something like that as well. Like it had like 5 categories, if I remember correctly, of damage. It's been a long time, so I'm sure somebody will be like, you're stupid, you don't know. Well, I haven't played it since the 90s. But I like it. I like the combat section so far. Or the spacecraft section so far. It's my favorite one. Again, even with some of the typos, but I like the simplicity of it, because I don't think they could have put it together with the amount of combat that would equate to the ground combat and keep it entertaining and stressful. I think it would have just been like, oh God, now we have to go through this. There's a reason why people play BattleTech and not Aerotech. like to be honest, all told, you know, the phase transporter thingy would have helped. See, I already forgot the name of it. Phase gate. I neither like it nor hate it. I'd have to see it in action. If what Heathen Dog said, it's that simple to just phase gate onto, you know, or phase gate open, throw in a big bomb, watch the ship go boom. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, I think he's right on that. You know, of course, I would say you just lost a lot of salvage. That was dumb. But if you're just going for a pure assassination mission, you know.
Well, no, the whole thing is like, I'm going to target the phase gate opening to be in their engine compartment, throw a bomb that is just enough to do 60 points of damage, and their engines are dead. Yay.
But no, I like the chapter. So I hope the Matrix controller stuff next week that Heathen Dog is going to, you know, just be all into.
Oh yeah.
See, that's what you get for playing a Mutsukan. Now you're typecast.
Yep. I'm gonna be on top of that like the homecoming queen.
But all told, I get this is my favorite chapter so far in the book. Not just because it's new, actually because it's new. I was going in going, ooh, this could go a couple different ways. But I think it's a good balance. Now let's be fair. The idea of stations is not brand new. I think every sci-fi game does it now. The first time I noticed it specifically in stations like that was in Stars Without Number, but that doesn't mean even it was the first game. And that was 2010 when that game came out. But it is a now sci-fi fantasy trope in these games that I think is a good one. I think it's one that games should continue to utilize.
It's my favorite part of this section.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It was different scales, like 5 different scales or something. Is this what the writers wanted? They really okay. Wait, what did you say beforehand? Oh, so
disorganized as F. Yeah, they are. That's a problem that is pervasive through the entire book. It is structured very poorly. It's very poorly structured.
I will tell you this: that the person that I've been talking to on Twitter stands by it.
Yeah, they're turning into the skid on this one. They're like, "Oh, it's crap. Well, I'm gonna defend it no matter what." I'm like, all right, that's your choice, but you look dumb.
So here's what I say about that one. If you watch my Friday stream, you'll know that there, again, in my opinion, 2 different ways of writing books like this. One's creative style, one's or narrative style, and the other one's pure technical manual. Doesn't mean you have to be 100%, but you can be 90-10, right? Anyway, let's not. You can watch that stream. Even if I accept
the narrative.
Yeah, like I don't let that bother me. I don't let that bother me at all. I still don't like some of the inconsistency in the writing format. Other than that, it's just really, it comes down to philosophical style. They believe philosophically this needed to be done because, as they cite, back in the older editions, it was boring, hard. Well, these weren't the people that said boring. I've been talking to a bunch of people about the whole concept of technical manuals versus narrative, but essentially they're like the old. They didn't like the way the old versions were written. I can't argue with them on that simply because they have a philosophical view. Yeah. So, but one of the things I do like about the stream, and I mentioned in the comments, trying not to quote the tweets because that's not fair to anybody. Essentially, I was like, well, I hope you're watching this just so you can understand that, the people in my stream, it's not just me, it's people in our stream, have this view as well. So, and to be fair, that's how we got the link to the errata, not the errata, the index.
The index.
That's how I understand some of this stuff now. I have no animosity towards them. I chew out this book like I do every book. So, if I think a book is great, I say it's great. If I think a book is crap, I think it's crap. It's just, it's that simple. This one I don't think is crap. I think it's exactly as people have posted in chat that it's hard to follow. It's somebody said it way earlier today. There was a perfect word for it. Somebody said, I think it was Indigo Dragon, as a matter of fact, at the beginning of the stream. But I don't remember. Okay, yes, it did. Oh, yes, it did. The original Fast game, you could play the bridge, and you actually had the little control. It's funny because you got little cards, and you could slide things up and down. Yes, I remember that. God, I still wish I had that. It's the only game I ever got rid of, and man, do I kick myself for that. But yes, the Star Trek game did have that. Good catch. So, okay, I don't want to bag on them anymore. I respect the fact that they've been chatting with me.
But I will say this, especially since it is a brand new mechanic to the game,
mm-hmm.
The spacecraft and spacecraft combat section so far has been the best written. As far as technically. This, then this, then this, then this in the proper order for the most part. Couple of problems. The whole heavy damage thing, it should be more front and center with what works, what doesn't work, against it and stuff like that. But compared to the rest of the book, this is the best formatted section of the book.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Good job. See, when we're trying to change stuff, did a good job.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, and share. Share. Sharing is caring. Okay, that is the end of segment 1. Now we will do. Oh, I have a problem when I highlight these things that I never pause. So hold on. That is the end of segment 1.